Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Vaibhav Garg, MD Medicine, first semester resident at PG Chandigarh, and this video I'm going to talk about the last 3 week strategy for NEET PG 2025. So the last 3 week strategy for NEET PG 2025, you have to see how was your INICET. Were you well prepared for INICET or were you not well prepared? Had you covered PYQs of only INICET or also NEET PG FMG, and if you found time, then also UPSC CMS. How was your question practice? Were you practicing questions on a daily basis? Were you confident with the art of solving MCQs, ruling out the options, reaching the right answer? And how was the application of your content? Were you making any kind of recall-based errors, or the errors which you're making were conceptual and based on long-term knowledge? If you were well prepared for the INICT, how did the exam go? It is not always that, however well you were prepared, the exam will go according to that. If you were well prepared, you had covered your syllabus 2, 3 times, you had concised your material, you had practiced multiple grand tests, and you remembered most of the content you revised. And in GTs also, you were getting a good score of around 155 to 160 plus. But still, exam did not go as per expectations. Don't worry. It is very common. Even in the May INICT last year, I was, despite being well prepared, I was not able to give my best. So don't worry, just start again and go for NEET PG with your full force. But if the exam went well, then congratulations if you are confident of getting your desired seat. But if you're not so sure, then just take a short break for 1 to 2 days, and then you should consider starting again, because taking a long break might take away your momentum. So it's better to just take a short break, rejuvenate yourself, and get back to studying. So some of the immediate steps for all the NEET PG aspirants is you have to make note of what are your weak and high yield areas. Any high yield area which is weak for you is a potential rank losing topic. So you should focus on that. And you should also focus on those topics and subjects which you could not complete before the INICT, because in NEET PG it's going to be a balanced paper and questions are going to come from all the subjects. So it's better to have some knowledge and adequate knowledge of all subjects. And you have to plan your last 10-day revision well. Make a GT schedule. Giving a GT every 5 days or every twice every week is a good option. You have to master your PYQs and PYTs. And when I write NEET PG and FMG both, I really mean it, because many NEET PG PYQs come in FMG and many FMG PYQs are reframed and they directly appear in the NEET PG. So I would recommend doing both NEET PG and FMG PYQs. Make a plan for the next 2 weeks first. Daily, which subject, which topic you want to read, what kind of MCQs you want to practice. You want to practice custom modules of PYQs, or you have to give a subject-wise test daily of one subject daily. That is, both are good options for MCQ practice. And do give GTs. The key differences which I find between NEET PG and INA is that NEET PG uh, is becoming more and more clinical. A long clinical sim-based questions are being asked. Image-based questions make a majority of the exam. Around 50% of the questions in the exam might be image-based and long clinical sim-based questions. But the options are going to be relatively less tricky. Once you pick up the clues from the clinical sim, reaching the diagnosis is going to become easy, and it will have more broad, wide topic coverage. It is not that they will focus on any particular subject in very much detail and are going to ask around 10 questions from the same topic. It is going to have broad, wide topic coverage area, and each of the 200 questions might be from a different topic. So the focus on third and fourth prof, the clinical subjects, is definitely going to be more than first, second prof, in my opinion, which has been the case with the past few years NEET PG. If you have focused less on your obs gynae, surgery, PSM, then definitely you should try to cover more them in more detail, because uh, even um, around 60 to 70 questions from 200 might be from these three subjects, because they are the major clinical subjects and major subjects of third and fourth prof. So you should definitely focus on them. What are the must cover things before you appear for your NEET PG exam on 15 June? You have to last 5 years of NEET PG at least and last 3 years of FMG. That is a total of 6 papers, because FMG is held twice a year. And you have to, whichever question you find that the topic is being repeatedly asked in those, for those PYTs, you can either refer back to your revision notes for a little bit more depth and Even you can read the PYQ explanations, which is completely fine because that also highlights the most important information around the topic. You have to practice your time management well. In NEET PG 2025, there are going to be 5 slots, 40 questions, 40 minutes, and 42 questions each. So, and if the questions are long clinical STEM, managing time might become an issue. So you have to practice your time management well. I would recommend that while practicing your grand test, you should try to solve 10 questions in 7 minutes. That would amount up to 40 questions in 35 minutes. And then for the remaining 7 minutes, you can review the skipped questions and the questions you had marked for review and try to solve as many MCQs as you can because in the end, the exam giving strategy will matter. And at this stage, it is more important to improve your art of solving MCQ than covering any kind of new topic. Focus on revising the same old content and try to apply them while solving questions. And using that information, try to rule out 3 wrong options in every question. Try to improve your hold on the content which you have revised so far so that while giving the exam, when 2 similar options appear, you have less confusion in that and you are able to mark that with even more confidence. Try to mimic the exam environment. This is really important. If you have been giving your grand test in the comfort of your home, sitting in AC and having snacks in between, that definitely this is a very wrong approach. You should either go to a nearby cyber cafe or your college library for giving computer-based tests, or try to mimic the exam environment in your home. No AC. Don't use AC while giving the grand test. You can use your fan in full speed, but don't use AC. And you should try to attempt your grand test in both morning and evening slots because in real exam also there is going to be 2 slots. So if you want to increase your confidence level and you don't want to panic around the time of release of exam slot, whether you'll be having morning or evening, try preparing for both by giving the grand test in both the slots and improve your ruling out options ability. So now from 24th May to 5 June and then 5 June to 14 June, you can plan your revisions in these 2 cycles and then attempt the NEET PG on 25th on 15th June. So from the time which you have from now, from around 12 to 13 days, try to do 1 subject per day for the major subjects, and for the minor subjects, you can try to fit in 2 to 3 subjects per day. To effectively manage your time, what all you should definitely cover. As I told, NEET PG and FMG PYTs, and from a revision source which is concise, and on that you can add up by you reading the PYQ explanations or PYTs from the revision notes and try to solve some questions from each subject. You can attempt a small subject-wise test of each subject, or you can solve custom modules in the pattern of the NEET PG exam, which is 42 minutes and 40 questions. And for the last 10 days, up till the 14th June, you can plan your schedule and you can keep the major impact and volatile subjects closer to the exam date, and the less yielding ones you can do upfront, or you can even do in these days till the 5th of June, so that you don't have to revise them again. And it's important now to master revision, and you have to try that whatever stuff you are revising now, that you should try to apply as much as possible, and you should try to achieve 100% strike rate in that. And if you have not made it yet, try to make a 20th notebook or choti copy in this 10-15 days, which you can revise in the last day before exam, just flipping through the pages. And in this, you can cover some confusing topics or some facts which are very, very volatile. And even like in clinical STEM questions, there can be 2 very closely spaced differentials, which can be differentiated on just 1 to 2 clues and 1 to 2 key areas. So that key differentiating feature you can put in this notebook. That will definitely help you to decide between 2 options. You can note down important mutation, genes, the investigation of choice, treatment of choice, and diagnostic modality for some important disease, and for imaging, named signs, appearances, that you can note down so that in the last day before exam, you can quickly revise all of this. So I would like to say that ultimately Giving a good exam is going to matter. However much hard you study, but you have to approach the exam with confidence and with a calm mind. And remember, it is not the end of anything. It is just the beginning of a new phase of life, the residency, which is even more hectic and even more difficult. So there's nothing to lose in here. And definitely you should try to focus on what is in your control. Amidst so much chaos of exam pattern and exam being conducted in two shifts, don't worry on any of this. Everything is going to be fine. Just focus on what is in your hand. What is in your hand is to study regularly. I would like to say that you should focus on what is in your control. What is in your control at the moment is to study every day, taking your preparation to the last day of the exam, solving a lot of MCQs, practicing grand tests, improving on your MCQ solving ability, giving a good exam strategy. Time management is in your hand. Ruling out options is in your hand. So focus on them and go into the exam hall with confidence, with self-belief, and with the blessings of the Almighty and your parents and family members. So all the best to all the NEET PG aspirants giving the exam on 15th June.